Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where and when you're listening to this. This is Coffee with Kevin. And of course, I am Kevin, and this is my coffee. Mm-mm-mm. I hope you're enjoying a nice cuppa of coffee, tea, hot chocolate, maybe, or maybe it's a cold drink. Maybe it's just water, or you got a smoothie. But enjoy something with me. My cup today, you can make it out. It says Dad Fuel. Coffee is Dad Fuel. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, this is fantastic. I'm going to get to the side here where there's very less going on. Actually, it's hard for there to be less going on. I'm going to blur my background. How's that? It still has something going on. That's all right. If you can make it out, there's a coffee cup back there by my head. And yes, it says coffee. And I got a bookshelf with some books and various things up there. Today is August 6th. We are moving through the year. August 6th. What happened on August 6th? Well, 1991, the gentleman, Tim Berners, I believe, released his files for something called the World Wide Network. Yes, this is the beginning. This is the birth of the World Wide Network. Worldwide, what we have as internet today is so World Wide Web, not network. Well, web is a network. So anyway, yeah, it's really, really cool that today is kind of the birth of that. Also, today was the day in 2012 that the Land Rover Curiosity landed on Mars. And yes, we call it Curiosity because we were curious about what we're going to find. And I believe they found water. You believe it took off in November of 2011 and landed on August 6th of 2012. It's a little bit of a long road trip or space trip. So you need lots of snacks. I say that because I'm getting ready for my road trip, heading up to Marlborough, Massachusetts. And I'm doing the thing that I do every year, in which I absolutely have a lot of fun. Teaching classes to other hypnotists. And I teach the things that I do that are unique, that other hypnotists don't know. And I have a lot of fun. I've got 5 classes this year, including a full 1-day certification of my EMRT. So I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to spending the weekend with a few hundred other hypnotists, and we just have a blast together. I wish there's got to be a joke. How many hypnotists does it take to do something? I'll think of that. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting ready for that. So I was thinking of a road trip. Oh, also today, birthday's Lucille Ball. If you remember her, if you grew up with her or saw any things that rebroadcast. That's what I'm looking for. Repeats. And I actually made a movie about her too. She was an incredible comic and did a lot of comic TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So what a talent. So that was her birthday today as well. So today in history, we had a few things going on. And I'm sure there's many, many more, but those are the notable ones I wanted to bring to you. And maybe you can make today in history a historical event for yourself or for others. Joan, good morning. Good morning. So yeah, today I'm talking about a subject that I was talking about with my clients as of recent, and I talk about this and with most of my clients because it's very common. And today we're talking about fear. I'm going to bring up the very first quote, the oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown. That's the oldest, strongest kind of fear. I love that. I love that. I don't know if it's absolutely accurate, but you'd think, okay, going back to early man, fear of the unknown. When you hear noises out there, you don't know what they are. When it's dark out, you don't know what's out there, but you do know what's out there when it's light out and it's not pretty. The fear of the unknown. But today, we don't fear things that they had to fear for survival. The fear of the unknown, starting a new job maybe, or starting, going into a different phase of your life, or just, what's going to happen tomorrow. Unfortunately, for a lot of us, that fear of the unknown is there so often, is there every day in our lives. But the truth is, we've been dealing with the unknown since we were born. We come out of this beautiful, comfortable place where we had food and it was warm and everything. And here we are outside and we're meeting these people for the first time we've never seen. We don't even know what a person looks like. And we have to meet these very large creatures that are maybe our parents and everyone else. And then as we go through life, everything's unknown. Right? We start school. We've never been to school before. That was an unknown. Every year at school is sometimes an unknown. Everything that happens to us during life as we grow and evolve and try new things and experience new things, it's all unknown until we experience it. And even then, the next experience could be a little different, and that's unknown too. So we are living a life with a lot of unknowns. I go for embrace it. I go for this is going to be cool. I'm experiencing something I've never experienced before. Let's embrace it. Maybe I was that way when I stepped out of the plane when I jumped for the first time. It was on my own. This wasn't a tandem thing where you're tied to somebody and they kind of like, okay, they walk you out, they push you out. No, I was asked to step out of the wing, and here I am holding onto a wing, and we're on a plane that's flying, and I used to have hair, so the wind was blowing through my hair back then, and I'm looking down, and I can barely see the ground. That, just before I stepped out, that was a big unknown. Stepping out and letting go to see how it's going to feel and what's going to happen when I let go. That was a big unknown. Will the chute open? Will it not? What's going to go on? And I think perhaps I like that. I embraced it. And, we've come to this point in our lives. We've dealt with a lot of unknowns and we're still alive. Nothing has killed us yet. Fear is a liar. Zach Williams' song, Fear is a Liar. Fear often is a liar. There's another quote I had seen that said, fear casts a big shadow, but fear itself is very small. It makes us so afraid. Well, let's see. I have another quote. Here. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Courage is not the absence of fear. So people who are courageous, it's not that they don't fear things, but they know they can triumph over the fear. They can triumph over the things that are the obstacles in their way. That's what courage really is. Let's see, I have one more. One of the greatest discoveries of a man makes, one of his great surprises is to find that he can do whatever he was afraid he couldn't. That's Henry Ford. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, and one of the greatest surprises, of course, man or woman, this is an old quote, is to find that he can do whatever he couldn't. And often don't we find that with our fears? We're afraid we can't do something. We're afraid something's too difficult. We're afraid it's impossible. And we find it's not. That's often the case. That's often the case with our fears. And it's so wonderful to make that discovery. It truly, truly is. All right, I'm going to shut these off. We had some great quotes. I heard one of my clients the other day mention, he says, fear is kind of like the absence of hope, and hope is the absence of fear. Well, which would you rather have, hope or fear? I know for me, I'd much rather have hope. Much, much rather have hope. Joan. The past 2 years, and I know that Joan has gone through a lot of things that would terrify most people. Past 2 years has been one step at a time for me, but I made it. And I'm sure it's Joan, as she's gone through what she's gone through, has had a lot of fear. You take it one step at a time, one day at a time, instead of looking out into the future with a big, that big dark unknown. One day at a time. And one of the things I just mentioned, fear is the absence of hope, and hope is the absence of fear. There's another quote I use often. It is, starve your fear, feed your hope. I believe it's that. Starve your fear. I typically like to look at what I'm afraid of and then look, okay, if I'm afraid of this, what would I want instead? It's usually the opposite of what I'm afraid of. So look at what you fear and think of the opposite. And that's what you fill your mind with, that hope that's going to be there. That hope that you can have that. A lot of people poo-poo hope, and you even hear doctors talk about, false hope. And they talk about that because if someone has false hope, they may neglect to do the things that they need to do, they want to do. And that's another thing. And that's another thing when we, that's maybe an extreme hope. And that always reminds me of the old story about this man. He was in a flood. It was a great flood, like, the one in New Orleans years ago with a hurricane. And he had to go up to his roof. The waters were so high. He went up to his roof, and someone was coming by. Someone was coming by in a boat, a small boat. And they said, hey, come on, jump in. We'll take you to safety. He said, no. God is going to save me. I don't need your help. In a little while longer, someone comes in. The Coast Guard had some bigger boats, and the water's getting higher. It's getting up to his feet. And say, come on, jump in. Jump in. We'll save you. He said, no. God's going to save me. And then the water started getting up to his knees and up to his legs. And a helicopter came by with a rope, with a ladder. He said, grab onto the ladder. We'll save you. He said, no. God's going to save me. You go ahead. Save other people. And then the water got so high he drowned. He went up to heaven. He said, God, I thought you were going to save me. And I ended up drowning. God said, I don't know what he's talking about. I sent 2 boats, a smaller one, then a larger one, and then a helicopter for you. I love that story. Maybe this is the extreme of false hope. I don't know. We have hope, but we have to have our eyes open. Because when we have hope, we have opportunities in front of us to help us get over whatever it is we're dealing with. And we have to keep our eyes open, our mind open. That's when it's not false hope. But believe me, hope itself, the idea to just fill your mind with what you want, what you expect, what you believe can happen. And of course, sometimes it takes a little while to get that belief solid, but you just keep on thinking about what you want to happen. And then the hope actually can cause a lot of things to happen for us. So cause us to have a lot more opportunities than we would have had. Cause us to see ways out of our issues, our problems. And a lot of times we reframe. All we need to do is reframe the issue, the problem that we have. A lot of times that's all it takes. And that will get rid of the fear. Get rid of the fear. Get that liar out of your life, that fear. First, the very first step, as in almost everything we talk about, is awareness. When you start to become aware when the fear comes in and what the fear is telling you, what those voices are, or what the images are, what the feelings are, when you can start to become aware when it comes in every time, then you can start to become aware of your choices. Yes, you do have a choice. You can start to become aware of your choices. And you can make choices to think differently. That's the start of overcoming fear. All right. This has been cool. This has been great. Next week, I will be coming to you from New England because that's where I'm going to be next Tuesday. And we'll speak again. Until then, you know what? Think about what you can embrace about the unknown. And the way you can embrace the unknown is like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You can think that. But then our fear says the worst case is going to happen. If you don't know what's going to happen, why can't you think about the best case? Why can't you think about, wow, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this great thing's going to happen for me. Maybe that great thing's going to happen for me. So start to think about that, okay? You have a wonderful, great day. Matter of fact, it's in your power to make it a wonderful, great day and a wonderful, great week. Till next week, take care. Bye.